little slanted to your right. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, here we are again. For some reason, I'm looking a little foggy on YouTube. I'm not sure what that exactly means. Is this better? Okay, here we are again. You're now at the university where there is no big I's or little U's, where everyone has the opportunity, to earn a PhD in the system of racism, white supremacy, where there is no priest class, where we are teachers and students, where we believe that teaching benefits the teacher. So here we are again. We're going to just give some brief introductions how the upcoming classes will go. And we're going forward, even if it's just Junior and I, we're going to go forward because what the goal is for this class is for this session, by December, we want every African American to know what racism, white supremacy is, and exactly how it works. Now, somebody say, man, that's a tall order. That's going to be impossible. Well, they can have a special dance move, and it can start in California. Before that week is over, without social media, that dance move will move all the way to New York City in every state in between. So we know it's a tall order, but we have to do it. We want every African American to know what racism, white supremacy is, and exactly how it works in depth. That's the goal. Now, we know everybody's not going to do that, but that's the goal. We're going after it like everyone will have it because it is important. It is important that we know what it is and exactly how it works because it is the most deadliest system, the most terroristic system on the planet. And it's killing Black people every day, all people of color, all people of color. But right now we're focusing on Black people. But it's killing all people of color. And not necessarily a physical death, but every category is connected to another one. If the system is practicing gentrification, you can connect gentrification to the murder of George Floyd. Absolutely. How? I'm going to tell you how. You're going to learn the definition. And I'm about to recite the definition for you. And we will recite this definition every class period. And I invite you to learn the definition. It is easy to learn and understand and know exactly how it works. Mr. Neely Fuller made it easy for us. Then Dr. Francis Cress Welsing. Some people like to brag about, well, if I was around here doing Martin Luther King time, I'd have did this, or Malcolm X time, I was a soldier like this. Well, you in this time. This the time you in. If I was around here when they crucified, they got a song like this, like that. If I was there when they crucified my Lord, they talking about Jesus. It's a Christian song. Well, you here now. What you gonna do now? Because Jesus the Christ was a social reformer. Moses was a social reformer. Prophet Muhammad was a social reformer. They addressed the oppression of people. That's what they did. They didn't like people being oppressed. And God doesn't like people being oppressed. That's why he sent prophets, warners, messengers. He just didn't send them so you can go through rituals, so you can learn and put that which you have learned into action. Here is the definition of racism, white supremacy. Racism, white supremacy is a worldwide system for the genetic survival of those people that classify themselves as white. It has patterns of control in speech, thought, system formation, language, action, and emotional response. It operates in 10 areas of human activity: education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, war, and health. To protect the genetics of those people that are classified as white. That's the definition. You should have no problem learning that definition. So when you talk about racism, you don't know what you're talking about. You won't be up there saying, well, all people can be racist. Racism is a power construct. These are some of the things that we're going to go over in class. Junior can't be racist. No black person in America can be racist. He can stand on a corner and no black person. I don't care how powerful you think they are. You know, they can get a mic, they can stand on the corner and call white people all kinds of names, but they cannot gentrify not one community. Policemen cannot drive down the street. Let's just say black policemen. Black policemen are cannot drive down the street and shoot any little white boy in a park and say, oh, I made a mistake. I thought the 12-year-old was a 45-year-old. And they say, well, this is a right to carry state. Why did you shoot him? Oh, they say he was playing with a weapon. No black policeman in this country can do that and then get off. Not one. Not a one. See, we can talk, but we can't practice racism, white supremacy. Cannot. Not against white people, you can't. So racism, white supremacy is a system. It is connected to everything else inside that system. And I named 10 areas of human activity. All this was given to us by Mr. Neely Fuller. We changed up the definition some and make it more easier. And Dr. Francis Cress Wellesley, make it more easier for people to learn. But it was already easy. But that's just our contribution. But the original came from Mr. Millie Fuller and then Dr. Francis Cress Welsing. And then here we are. Black people at this point ought to be trying to break the YouTube channel and every other and every other channel trying to find out what racism, white supremacy is. Like I said, Mr. Millie Fuller gave us 9 areas that racism, white supremacy operates in. We added the last one, which was health. Dr. Francis Cress Welsing may have said it, but I know we added health. Racism, white supremacy operates in health. The very physical health. Did you know this? These are some of the things we're going to discuss. Did you know this? I think it's like 3 times, Black women are 3 times more likely to be asked to have a C-section than natural birth. Why? Because of the system of racism, white supremacy. It is more dangerous, and it's a major surgery. They're asked to have C-section, not normal birth. That's in health. Did you know due to stress, Black people lead in heart attacks, high blood pressure, kidney failure, and we're not making a connection? That's just health. Did you know they're still closing down Black schools? Education. So those areas we're going to address. And education is connected to health. Someone says that I just want to get to the solutions. I heard that again. I heard it a year or 2 ago, and Black people still saying it. I heard one lady say it over the radio. She's given a platform to speak. And she says, I'm all about solutions. Well, what is the problem? Tell us the problem. Couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you. Couldn't tell you. So we want Black people to be focused. We want Black people to make up our minds that we are going to do better. This is the first time we're on since 2021. Since 2021. And we got to do things different. We have to do things different. It seemed like that we are walking in a circle instead of a straight line. Now, my fellow alumni of Jack Yates High School, George Floyd, was executed, crucified. The policeman trial is coming up. We should not just focus on George Floyd. We should focus on the system. When we talk about George Floyd, we should say this is a part of the system and tell them what the system is. But you won't know what the system is until you learn the definition. That's why it is important to learn the definition. It's not enough just to say racism is systematic. What? Systematic, but what? Explain that. Learn what it is and exactly how it works. And if you do that, you won't be a part of a group saying, we want justice. How could you? I heard a congressperson. Well, let me say this first. You cannot have justice. I don't care if it's for Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, me, all the kids that got their schools closed last year, year before, around the country that are Black, cannot get justice in the face of a system of racism, white supremacy. They are diametrically opposed to each other. And if racism, white supremacy exists, and it does, justice cannot exist. So we need not say we want justice for Breonna Taylor. How could we holler justice for Breonna Taylor? And gentrification again is occurring all over the country. That is not justice. And at each and every one of us, we don't have to go to no special place or join no special group. You don't have to be a special religion. But each and every one of us should learn what the system is. And once we do that, we can talk with authority about the system. We just won't be saying something and it reaches the ear of someone who knows the system, who understands it, and still learning. Now, I'm not trying to paint a picture of us being the university as know-it-all. We're still learning. Mr. Neely Fuller says that to this day, still learning. But when you have Congress people or former Congress people saying the best way we can get rid of racism, white supremacy is have what's that term? Truth and reconciliation, like they did in South Africa. I think they did it in Kenya too. And you check the records, the deeds to the land, where the money is. White people got it. We got truth and reconciliation. White people got wealth. That's because we just don't understand. We just don't understand. And that congressperson, well, former congressperson, said that that's what we need in America. What? And somebody else says reparation. Truth and reconciliation and reparation are cousins. But you cannot have either of those while the system of racism, white supremacy is still in play. How could you be repaired? How could you be repaired? Reparations is to repair. How could I repair a wound that Junior Lester uh, has in his stomach from a knife wound? And I don't even recognize the knife being there. And if I recognize the knife is there, I deny that the knife is there, and I'm studying, twisting it and pushing it farther and farther into his intestines. And Junior says, repair me. How could Junior expect me to repair him and kill him at the same time? Now, same way, if you follow that, you should be able to follow the system of racism, white supremacy. Economically, we're being attacked. Educationally, we're being attacked. Entertainment, we're being attacked. In jobs, labor, we're being attacked. We don't get hired, but we get fired first. The law, we're being attacked. It is not applied equally. Politics, we have no representation. Religion, racism, white supremacy is there. Economics, it is there. Health, we just talked to you about health. War, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen this country go and attack a European country. All the people that they are attacking are people of color. And this country, under the system of racism, white supremacy, has declared war on us. But we are the only ones don't know it. We holler for reparations and reconciliation, truth and reconciliation, to reconcile, to forgive. They won't even admit that they are causing the pain. And we have people supposed to be among our best, and they don't even know what's going on. Raouf says a good point. Replace the system with a system of justice. Exactly. See, these are the areas that we will be addressing, like that, what Ralph or what Raouf just said. Now, you'll hear a lot of people. Raouf is not among these people because he's been in this class. But you'll hear a lot of people say, we want justice. And you stop and ask them, well, what is justice? What does that look like? We don't want them killing us anymore. Not all policemen. That's what they'll say. If they stick a mic in their face and say, well, what is justice? What does that look like? I want to be able to drive down the street and not get shot. I ain't talking about all policemen. That's the next thing that come out of their mouth. But this, as defined by Mr. Millie Fuller, and most of us don't even know who in the hell Mr. Millie Fuller is. He says justice is where absolutely no one is mistreated. And those who need the most help will get the most help. That's justice. Replace the system of racism, white supremacy with that system of justice. Like Raouf said, Mr. Millie Fuller said it in 1953. It got no play. It's not getting any play now. But that's how long it's been to paper. Since 1953, when he started writing about the system of racism, white supremacy. And we got sitting up here with two people. Two people. Out of all the people Raouf knows, out of all the people I know and Junior knows, it's two people. No, really three with the producer here. Four, I mean, talking about the system of racism, white supremacy. And we know it's never going to be 100% of Black people. But if we do not have a critical mass, whatever that number means, we are in trouble. We are in deep trouble. At the same time, We are saying, whosoever will, let him come. Same thing they said in the Bible. Whosoever will come. Because as you can see, anything might happen tomorrow. The Capitol building was attacked. They constructed a gallows where they hang people and they put a noose. They had time to take wood from somewhere. Maybe they found it on the lawn of the Capitol building. Just found some wood laying around. And they constructed a gallows and put a hangman's noose right out in front of the Capitol. And then declared that that noose was for Pence, former Vice President Pence. And we walk around here like ain't nothing happening. Now, if they hung Pence, if they want to hang Pence, guess what they want to do to you? In this session, volume 2, we're going to talk about castration and the meaning of that. We're going to talk about genetics. We're going to talk about all those things that I mentioned previously. So I would invite you to attend class. Whenever you get a chance to listen to this message, listen and learn. Hit the subscribe, share, and like button because we have to get the message out. We're talking about everything else besides the most deadly, most terroristic system on the planet. And in the field of entertainment, let me show you how that system is under the system of racism, white supremacy. That movie, Judas and the Messiah. Then you see the movie about Billie Holiday. Now you look at these movies, and if you don't know what racism, white supremacy is, you're being indoctrinated and don't even know it. You're being taught to hate self and not even mentally able to understand it. Here's how. I'm gonna let you know how. Because the movie been out for a while. So spoiler alert. But it's been for a while. Now, who did they put to sit Billie Holiday up? A black man. Another black person. And eventually killed her with the use of drugs. Back and forth to jail. They used another black person. Who did they use to kill Fred Hampton? They went and got a black person. This in real life. In real life. They use a black person to infiltrate the Black Panthers. Who did they use to kill Malcolm X? Now they saying the government did it. But we always said that. I can't remember a time that black people didn't say that. And they used black people to pull the trigger. And someone said, well, what that got to do with racism, white supremacy? Those people are just doing their job and ensuring the movie. Well, it gets us to mistrust each other. If you don't understand the system, you will begin to say, Well, that's why I don't trust black people. Look who shot Fred. Look who got Fred Hampton killed. Billie Holiday, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, so forth and so on. See, if they paint that picture of us, we'll mistrust each other. And then we will not be able to operate the countermeasures. They are still doing it. Yes, and it's true. Hey, you can go back and look at the video. Class was short today. We were just giving an introduction on Vol.2, Lesson 1, what's coming up. But you can always go back and review the video. We're about to bring it to a close. We're not going to hold you too long today. And we know some of you just getting out of church or spending time with your family, like Ivory, but we appreciate her, very much. And but before we go, we're also going to touch on, some people call them solutions. Mr. Neely Fuller said that they were countermeasures to the system of racism, white supremacy. Dr. Francis Cresswell said that they were exercises in Black mental health. Imam W.B. Muhammad said that they were just good rational sense, just good rational sense. And I'm about to tell you some of those and some people say, I just want to hear solutions, but we have not pushed the most basic of solutions that we have heard since we were babies. We haven't pushed that. We pushed, let's write a letter to the president administration and tell them our agenda. That's what we have pushed. Let's write an op-ed in the New York Post. I get credit for it. It'll make me a bestseller. And it ain't gonna go nowhere after that. But I'll be rich. That's what we have pushed. But these are things that we have not pushed in our family, in our own self, in our community. We have not pushed. Stop lying on each other. These are solutions, and we're going to talk about them in depth in the weeks ahead. Stop lying on each other. Stop stealing from one another. Stop robbing one another. Stop killing one another. Stop fighting one another. Stop arguing with one another. Stop making our children believe before they're 35 for males and 30 for females that they can have a baby and maintain a family, because they cannot, not under this system. So that's seven. That's seven stops already. Stop using drugs. Stop selling drugs. That includes alcohol. Stop snitching on one another. Snitching under the system of racism, white supremacy only means, I had a reading Ivory's amen. Snitching under the system of racism, white supremacy only means turning another Black person in to authorities. And authorities could be CIA all the way down to the homeowners association. Turning someone in to authorities for your own political or economic gain. That's snitching. We see that every day. And then you seek to take their place. That's 11. Let's just work that. Stop stalking young girls. and boys these days to have sex with them. You 50 and a school teacher. This happens. And you notice the young lady, now she graduates, she 18, the first thing come out of your mouth, she legal. I had a teacher to tell me he did that and he had relations with her. When she graduated, she was 17 and she turned 18 that summer and he had relations with her. He's 60 something. Stop that. Stop playing around with sex, which is the same thing. If you play around with sex, Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, a medical doctor, a psychiatrist, says that if you play around with sex, the joke will be on the child because he don't come up with no father in the house. Stop playing around with sex. See, we do not push, we don't even know that language exists. The 15 or 13 stops that I just mentioned. Mr. Nellie Fuller came up with about 10, Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, and then we added on some. And we can continue to add. These are the things that we have to do. And these are the things that we will be discussing. And not only discussing them, we will seek to put them in practice in our life. Stop walking around with your damn pants hanging off your butt, looking like you crazy. Stop that. I don't know, and I'm gonna tell you something about mental illness. Black people don't qualify for mental health. At this point, it is almost as if we have been ran insane. We are not at the mental health level that we supposed to be, but rightly so. Look what has happened to us. Look at what has happened to us. I work at a place black people walk by you like they don't see you, especially if they with a white person. They gonna make sure they looking up here like it's something in the sky or somebody floating up in the earth or something. They will speak if you speak first. Then they'll begrudgingly speak. But if a white person speaks to you, then hey, how you? That's not mental health. That's not mental health at all. And we are don't qualify at this point to say that we have mental health. But we can get our minds back. Imam Muhammad at one time uh, influenced people to say we want our minds back. But those same people don't even mention that. Those same people that the Imam Muhammad, and I put emphasis on that to say the Imam Muhammad or the Imam Muhammad. Don't even mention that. It was just like a t-shirt. You know how you have a t-shirt for that particular time period. And our mind's still gone. We don't mention that. Raul can be a witness. He remember that when he was younger. Well, we were saying we want our minds back. He remembers. He was a young kid then. But he don't hear it now. And I'm urging Muslims, Christians, Jews, traditional African religion, let's defeat the system of racism, white supremacy, and replace it with a system of justice. Because if we do not, we should just assign our children in a line to be slaughtered, because that is exactly what will happen. Thank you very much, brothers and sisters. We're going to look forward to seeing you all a week after next. So give us time to study, give us time to think. And if you have something that you want me to address, you can always just put it in the comments section. Most of you are going to look at it on Facebook, but please go to YouTube and hit share, like, the share and like button on YouTube, please. And again, if you have something that you want me to address in particular, or want us to address, because I'm not bigoting you, it's us. This is our university, and we're going forward. But if you have something in particular, please put it on Facebook in the comments section, because that's where most of you are going to go. But take time to go to YouTube and put the share and like button, and please invite someone with you a week after next, and invite them to listen to this particular video. What those items that we addressed today, we're going to again share. We're going to talk about them in depth, because we want a critical mass. I said all Black people earlier, but we want a critical mass of Black people, whatever that number is, to understand what racism, white supremacy is, and exactly how it works in depth. Not no surface baby talk. They shot us. They hate us because we white. Imam Muhammad said one time that is silly. In other words, I don't think he used the word silly, but he used some word like that to say that white people hate you just because you white. And excuse me, just because you Black, and they got a car that's Black. They got a dog in their house that's Black. They got furniture that's Black. And he went on to say, and most of us didn't pick it up. He didn't pick that up. I didn't even pick it up back then. Not until I heard Dr. Frances Cress Wells. And I knew that there was a connection between her and Imam Muhammad. Probably not physically. I don't know if they ever met each other, but they talked the same language. He said that they don't hate you because you're Black. They hate you because of what that represents. Dr. Frances Cress Wells said that white people put a system in place because of the genetic material. What you represent in that genetic material could destroy them. Thank you very much, brothers and sisters. Look forward to seeing you again in 2 weeks. Thank you. Don't forget to hit the like and share button on YouTube. Please go to YouTube and do that. You can just simply type Ali, ALI, or space Muhammad, and then space, type the university. Just one word, the university. Type my first name as if you regularly write me. You know you ain't gonna write that as one word. Ali Muhammad. And then put a space. Write this as one word. The university. Okay, thank you. Keep up the good work. We'll look forward to seeing you. And Monday It's Monday. Say your prayers and may God have mercy on us.